Approaching 48 today. Under overcast skies, winds out of the south around 5 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 30 tonight, partly cloudy skies. High temperatures reach up to 54 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 30 degrees.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. State Senator Doris Turner is encouraging local food processors to apply for a new Illinois Department of Agriculture grant aimed at strengthening the state's food supply chain. The grant program provides funding to support food processing, aggregation, and distribution projects. Grants ranging from $1,000 to $250,000 are available for collaborative projects, while individual projects can receive between $1,000 and $75,000. Turner, a Democrat from Springfield, says investing in local food systems benefits both farmers and communities. She says strengthening the food supply chain helps support Illinois farmers, expand access to fresh local foods, boost the local economy, and reduce food insecurity. To be eligible, applicants must be Illinois residents or organizations involved in storing, processing, packaging, aggregating, or distributing value-added agricultural products or planning to do so. Eligible applicants include farms, cooperatives, and slaughter or processing facilities with fewer than 50 employees, as well as Illinois food businesses, food hubs, nonprofit organizations, and units of local government. Grant funds must be used for infrastructure related to processing, storage, aggregation, or distribution, including purchasing, leasing, renting, building, or installing equipment and facilities. Those interested are encouraged to prepare by pre-registering with sam.gov and the GATA grantee portal. Additional information and application guidance is available through the Illinois Department of Agriculture. February is American Heart Month, and Taylorville Memorial Hospital is using the initiative to spotlight its services in cardiac rehab. The process, which typically lasts 3 months, is meant to help people recover from certain cardiac events. Careful supervision from qualified nurses is necessary to avoid potentially catastrophic consequences as patients look to regain full function in their heart. Michelle Kilduff is one of 2 registered nurses certified to work with cardiac rehab patients. She has worked with patients recovering from events like heart attacks and bypass surgery.
Mainly the patients that we see are those that have had a heart attack. They've had open heart surgery, whether that's bypass surgery or replacing a valve. Those that have stable angina or chest pain, we see those. Then also anybody who's had a cardiac stent where they've had a blockage in their heart and then they've had a stent placed, we see those patients. And then we can see patients that have had a heart transplant. We have had at least one of those, if not 2. And then we see some patients that have LVADs in placed, and that just helps, increase the output of their heart. Then we also see congestive heart failure patients and those with peripheral vascular disease, or we have a PAD program, peripheral artery disease.
Patients typically come in 3 times per week for 3 months. The consultations and overall process are covered by most health insurance policies, as long as the rehab begins within 6 months of the cardiac event.
We see our patients Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're there from about 7 to 5 p.m. We have morning classes and afternoon classes, and those are just appointment times. Those patients are there for about 45 minutes to an hour, and it's always monitored exercise. Those patients always have a nurse with them, a registered nurse that is ACLS certified, and our nurses in our program, we are CCRP. We have gained that certification with AACVPR. So we have went one step further to better understand and get better outcomes with our patients. But our patients come in and exercise. Like I said, they start out with warming up a little bit. They usually do anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes on a machine. And And it is tailored to their needs. Not everybody is going to get on a treadmill. Not everybody is going to be able to do this machine or that machine and get their heart rate up, get that exercise in.
A rehab stint consists of 3 phases. Generally, the aforementioned consultations are part of the second phase.
Phase 1 is always in the hospital, like generally, or like an outpatient center where they've maybe had a CAT or they've had a stent placed, they're in and out. But that's when the nurse just talks to them after their event, usually the day of or the day after, and talks to them about cardiac rehab. They discuss risk factors, stuff that, the patient needs to maybe start thinking about, what can I change to improve my cardiac health? Then phase 2 is us, and it is where they come in and it's monitored exercise, like I said. Then we have phase 3, which is for our phase 2 graduates. And once they've completed phase 2 and we feel like they are appropriate to go on to basically independent exercise. Now it's right along with us. So we still are there to assist them in if they've got any questions, if they think something's wrong, but they monitor their own blood pressure. They're not monitored with the telemetry or the EKG reading.
Kilduff and her fellow cardiac rehab nurse, Kim Kersey, may monitor multiple exercising patients at a time. They keep a close eye on the EKG of each one and will jump into action if the technology shows that a patient's heart is overworking for its condition.
Yes, you're going to exercise and increase the workload, but it's monitored and we're able to see how they respond to it. Are we getting a better outcome for them? Is their blood pressure going down? Generally after that 30 to 50 minutes of exercise, many patients can get up to 50 minutes of exercise. And after that, normally we'll see their blood pressure come down, but we go by how they feel. And me and Kim work well in that respect. One of us could be watching the monitors. One of us is out and about checking blood pressures while they exercise because, everybody's got to get their blood pressure checked before they even start. Then we do it while they exercise and we do it at the end. But we're always in sync with trying to figure out, okay, where do they have to go next also? And we're really trying to make sure that they get as much exercise as they can.
Kilduff also took the time to share some common risk factors of heart disease, which include high blood pressure, diabetes, and smoking. She adds that cardiac rehab patients discuss these factors in groups as part of their recovery regimen.
What we really focus on is, high blood pressure. That's a silent killer. It can damage your blood vessels over time. It does, lead to cardiac disease, quicker if that high blood pressure is uncontrolled. We look at high cholesterol. What's their diet like? Let's reduce your saturated fats. Let's get your cholesterol level where it should be. Is your statin working correctly? We look at diabetes, is your blood sugar running in a normal range? What is your last A1C? Is it less than 7? We talk about, all the different things that they can address with diabetes. We also look at being sedentary, lack of exercise. Exercise is one of the first things that we put on the back burner. If the doctor says, take your blood pressure pill, you take it, but when they tell you to exercise, you're like, that can kind of wait, but exercise affects all the risk factors, for the better.
More information on the Memorial Health System is available at memorial.health. Michelle Kilduff appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. As homeowners head into 2026, furniture choices are shifting away from matching sets and toward spaces that feel warmer, more personal, and lived in. At Wright's Furniture and Flooring, staff say customers are increasingly looking for pieces that reflect their own lifestyles while blending comfort and function with long-lasting design rather than chasing short-term trends. According to the Wright's furniture team, one of the biggest changes is a move toward individuality. Homes are being furnished with a mix of modern pieces, vintage finds, family heirlooms, and custom furniture, creating rooms that feel collected over time instead of perfectly coordinated. The approach allows homeowners to design spaces that feel intentional without feeling staged. Texture is also playing a larger role in furniture design this year. Softer fabrics such as boucle, chenille, and linen blends are being paired with metal, stone, and wood to add depth and visual interest. Later finishes are giving way to richer wood tones, including walnut and deep mahogany, which bring a sense of warmth and durability to living spaces. Color trends for 2026 lean toward earthy, grounded palettes, deep greens, warm browns, and muted, moody tones are being layered with neutral shades. Curved and organic shapes are also becoming more common, showing up in sofas, chairs, tables, and even kitchen islands to soften rooms and make them feel more relaxed. Wright's Furniture and Flooring is a fifth-generation family-owned business celebrating its 136th year. The store offers a wide range of furniture, flooring, and home decor, along with custom design services through its sister company, Wright at Home. More information is available at wrightsfurniture.com. And now a word from First National Bank in Taylorville.
I'm James Kirk, Vice President at First National Bank in Taylorville. I get it. Switching banks sounds like a chore, but we make it easy. I've helped people and businesses move their accounts with less hassle than they've expected and more personal service than they've ever gotten before. We've been here for nearly 70 years, a true community bank that's not going anywhere. If you're ready to make a change, we're ready to help. First National Bank in Taylorville, first every time for nearly 70 years. Member FDIC.
A small group of just 70 staff members run the Morrisonville School District. For context, in Taylorville, the high school itself has 96 staff members. School and district administrators in Morrisonville appreciate the small-town desire their staff brings to the district and look to provide the freedom to allow them to do their jobs effectively. Data from the National Education Association, among other sources, shows a stark and growing teacher shortage across America. Megan Hanlon and Tim Chapman are the elementary and junior and senior high school principals, respectively. They say the shortage means incoming teachers can typically easily find work anywhere in the country. The principals see special meaning in teachers choosing Morrisonville over another location.
Yeah, well, if you aren't aware, there's a teacher shortage right now, and most educators can get a job really anywhere they would like. And so I feel very strongly that the staff that we have here at Morrisonville is here because this is where they want to be. They like the small school setting. They like knowing their kids very, very well. And our teachers, they like that. They feed on that. They can notice small changes in kids that could mean a lot more. And so we communicate about kids a lot.
I would say most teachers are here because they want to be in a small school, but we also support them. You know, if they come to us, both of us have open door policies. They're, welcome to come in and ask for anything. There's not much they get told no. If they need it and it's to help our student body, they get it for the most part. And if we have the resources, and most times we find a way to get it. And our community is great about helping, stepping up. If we can't get something, then they'll come through too on that.
Teachers are not the only ones helping students succeed. Hanlon also credits local organizations for stepping up to donate money and supplies for those in need.
It just kind of depends on how they want to help our kids. But we have a few that come in at the beginning of the school year and they give cash donations to some of our teaching staff to whatever they need for their classroom or whatever kids, if kids show up on the first day without crayons and pencils, they want to make sure that they have those. So we have some organizations like that. We have other organizations that I know if a kid breaks their glasses and needs a new pair, or if they don't, times might be tough and they can't come up with the money for the field trip. I know it's just one phone call and that'll be covered. And it's a really great feeling to know that we have that support in our small town.
While the term co-op is often used in the context of sports, this applies also to academics. Morrisonville co-ops with Raymond for certain classes, and dual credit networks exist as well.
Well, I know in a small school sometimes we can't offer what the Taylorville offers, but we do find ways to do it, and we co-op with Raymond. They come up here for AP English. We go over there for Spanish, so we always appreciate that. Our kids get Spanish 1 through 4 if they need it. We go to Lincoln Land. Juniors and seniors are allowed to go to Lincoln Land in the afternoon. Capillary Career Center, if you're not familiar with that place, it's a very cool trade center in Springfield, and we send 16 kids there. They can study everything from fire science to building trades to HVAC. So we offer our kids a wide variety of things, maybe not in our building, but we are behind supporting and getting them those resources.
Both principals say the combination of efforts from all aforementioned parties are what helps students succeed.
We just feel very fortunate to have, the families that we do have and the resources that we have. And I feel like if we just continue to keep that line of communication open between our families and the school, that we can continue to be successful.
And again, I go back to, if we need it, we get it. All we have to do is ask, and somebody's going to step up and help. If it be with glasses, if it be with something here we need financially, something for our science labs, anything we need, we can get. And that just shows you what kind of community we have. School board, we have, superintendent, principals, teaching staff. It's all about students, always students first.
More information on Morrisonville Community Unit School District number 1 is available at mohawks.net. Tim Chapman and Megan Hanlon appeared as guests on the WTIM Morning Show as part of the WTIM High School Road Tour's visit to Morrisonville. The Illinois Farm Bureau Environmental Stewardship Grant Program, highlighted during last weekend's Illinois Farm Bureau Young Leader Conference. Benna Pegg is the organization's environmental program manager. The Illinois Farm Bureau Environmental Stewardship Grant Program was created in 2015. Nearly every county in the state has participated in the effort, and over $1.3 million has been delivered for program funding. Now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 95-year-old Edmona Mona Vitale of Taylorville died February 4th. Visitation is today from 11 till noon at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville, with the funeral service to immediately follow. Burial will be at Glen Haven Memorial Gardens. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. 85-year-old Elizabeth Marie Betty Pavolka of Nokomis died February 1st. Visitation is also today from 10 till 11 at St. Louis Catholic Church in Nokomis, with the funeral service immediately following. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Steele Dawson Funeral Home in Nokomis. 86-year-old Herman G. Buzzy Lancaster of Morrisonville, formerly of Kincaid, died on Tuesday. Visitation is tomorrow from 10 till 1 at Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. The funeral service will immediately follow. Burial will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. 87-year-old Patricia Jane Kutch of Taylorville died February 4th. Visitation is tomorrow from 10 till 11 at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. A memorial service will immediately follow. Interment will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. 81-year-old Edith Louise Moore of Mount Auburn died January 31st. A memorial service will take place tomorrow at noon at Mount Auburn Community Center. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. And 88-year-old Sona Beavers of Taylorville died January 16th. A memorial mass will take place on March 6th at 10 at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Taylorville. Interment will be at Green Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. Currently, it is 29 degrees and partly cloudy. We're expecting a high near 48 today with mostly cloudy skies. Get local news anytime at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and every hour right here on WTIM, your only local news radio.
Digital marketing has its place, but across rural America, there's still one medium that farmers and ranchers consistently rely on: ag radio. Farm broadcasters reach agricultural producers where cellular service drops and internet